farm, family, community. This is Midwest Farm Weekly.
Good morning and thank you for joining us on Midwest Farm Weekly. I'm Elaine Wells. In your news headlines, Wisconsin farmers are nearly done planting for 2025. In the latest crop report, rainfall was reported in much of the state, with southern Wisconsin especially benefiting from that moisture. Corn planting has reached 96% completion, 82% emerged. That's 6 days ahead of last year. Condition of the corn crop continues to improve, with 74% rated good to excellent. Soybean planting is nearly complete at 95%, with emergence that is at 73%, and that matches last year. Soybean condition dipped slightly, but it still ranks 79% good to excellent. Winter wheat is progressing slower, with 52% of fields headed. That's 6 days behind the same time frame last year. And rounding out our crop report with first crop alfalfa, remains ahead of an average year, with 68% of that harvested. There are a number of bills circulating in Washington right now related to agri-terrorism activities. The PLANT Act is being proposed by Iowa Representative Zach Noon. This bill establishes a new criminal offense for knowingly or recklessly importing, transporting, or possessing high-risk agricultural biological agents that are not authorized by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Violators could face up to 20 years in prison. This bill comes just days after 2 Chinese nationals were federally charged in Michigan with smuggling a fungus described as a potential agri-terrorism weapon into the United States.
We want to make sure that we protect the technologies and ultimately so we can grow a safe, affordable, and sustainable food supply.
Another bill seeks to strengthen a set of existing laws that make it a crime for anyone to steal farm animals, release animals, trespass on farms, or to interfere with farm operations. As written, the bill would also add some criminal penalties for using deception to enter or gain employment at an agricultural operation, or to use cameras or other surveillance methods to spy on a farm or agricultural research facility. This bill would also make it a crime to interfere with or destroy crops, structures at farms, and agricultural research facilities. Milk is one of the most requested yet least donated items at food banks, as too often the facilities lack sufficient refrigeration. That is why Kemp's donated nearly 800,000 shelf-stable milk cartons. 30,000 of them went to Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. These milk cartons are specifically designed for food shelves and for kids' backpack programs to help families in need.
This milk can last up to a year without being in a refrigerator or being in a cooled environment, which helps our food pantry partners sustain that product and get it out to the families that need it the most.
In the next few weeks, these cartons will be available at dozens of food pantries throughout Northeast Wisconsin. One of the hottest trends among small farmers these days is diversification, adding new crops or livestock to their existing operation. This practice helps to generate new revenue streams, mitigate risk, and even spread out their operational costs. Today, we take you on a tour of Virginia Gold Orchard.
This is a story of pigs, potential, and profitability. In this era of razor-thin farm profit margins, diversification can mean all the difference. Virginia Gold Orchards is proof of that. Virginia Gold raises Asian pears for fruit and wine, also owns Ramulus Ridge Vineyards. Plus, they're the cut flower and lavender businesses. And now, heritage breed pigs.
This herd, if you want to use that word, is led by Clyde, right? He's our breeding boar. He is the dad of all the little babies. They give birth on pasture. So from day one, these piglets are on pasture. They're interacting with the soil. They learn to eat grass from their mom. So this particular breed of pig that we have loves to graze.
Virginia Gold owner Thomas Van Diver says it just makes sense. Those heritage pigs, a breed known as Idaho pasture pigs, are easily integrated into his farm's operation. They're pastured. They do get a little non-GMO feed, but mostly they're eating grass, acorns, bugs, whatever they can find in the fields, and the orchard's extra fruit, while leaving behind fertilizer.
They get a lot more fruit because we do finish our pigs on the fruit. So we have lots and lots of fruit that we produce that's not quite marketable for humans. The pigs love to eat it. And it gives a very unique flavor. So it's beneficial. The trees give to the pigs give back to the trees.
And locally, Full Circle Community Farm in Seymour is a very similar concept. They raise vegetables and animals on the same pastures. Next Saturday, Winnebago County hosts Grilled Cheese Day on the farm to celebrate June Dairy Month. Here is a peek at the family farm hosting that event.
Welcome to Silver Shea Holsteins in Armour, Wisconsin.
So my parents started farming in 1981 in a rented barn. We moved to this facility in 2002 after a tornado actually took down the rented barn in 2001. So they started milking about 70 cows. I kind of started buying in cows as a junior in high school and grew from 70, and now we milk about 180.
I grew up on a dairy farm about an hour west of here. My parents actually just recently retired from the dairy industry at the beginning of the year, but it's through my growing up on a farm that actually met Josh. So after college, I began working in the nutrition business and came out here, made a farm call here, and I've been doing the nutrition work for the farm for about 14 years now. So that's, I guess I liked his cows and I wanted to stick around.
We ship our milk to Union Star Cheese, so we're the only patron that provides them with milk. So that's one of the things that gives us the most pride, is that our milk, you know, we're the only ones that they use for their cheese, and we'll be providing all the cheese for the dairy breakfast from our cows. So we're pretty happy about that.
The event is free to attend, but we will have $5 grilled cheese sandwiches featuring Union Star cheese from our cows, cheese curds, chips, great lunch meal, decent bargain. Everything for the family. We'll have some cheese sampling. They'll be able to tour our facilities. We'll have different, I guess, experts, you'd say, nutrition. We'll have a veterinarian here. We'll have a milk truck and equipment for the kids to look at, a giant sand pile for the kids to play on, and a lot of other animals too. We have pigs, sheep, goats, chickens, so it'll be a whole petting zoo experience. We're most excited for people to just see the cattle. Sometimes we work in it every day, we forget how big these cattle are, you know, how exciting it is to see the equipment and how big it is. So for people to come out and just get a glimpse of animals, we'll have plenty of animals to see. We'll have tours through our freestall barn. People can go through the calf barn, through the heifer facilities, and we're just hoping to make some good connections with people and give them if they didn't feel connected to agriculture and the dairy industry more specifically, we hope we can make that connection, and hopefully they feel a little bit more comfortable with the food choices they make when they go to the dairy aisle.
I mean, there's no better way to raise kids. I mean, they always can never complain that there's nothing to do, you know. There's always fun things to do on the farm, and I enjoyed it growing up, and I hope, you know, that they do too.
You can enjoy Grilled Cheese Day at Silver Shea Holsteins in Omro. Next Saturday, June 21st, food is served from 10 until 2. Parking will be at Omro Elementary School. And a reminder to celebrate June Dairy Month at Kewaunee County Breakfast on the Farm. Father's Day, that is this Sunday, June 15th. Elna Farms is located about halfway between Luxembourg and Algoma. Church is at 7 with food service from 8 until noon. Hope to see you there. A Door County farm invited us to take a tour for June Dairy Month. The milk from Gilbert Farms is made into Italian-style cheese at Belgioioso. They are raising the 6th generation to care for the cows and crops at this family-owned farm.
We've been in the business since my great-grandpa in the late 1800s.
Tim Gilbert is carrying on that family tradition with the next 2 generations alongside him in the barn.
Yes, we have grandchildren, 5 of them. It chokes me up because, you know, they love farming too. You know, they love being around the farm, all of it, the animals, the equipment. I mean, it just draws a kid in. I love being able to work with my own children. They're very easy to work with. Yeah, it's a group effort, truly.
Cow comfort is their #1 priority. The farm has invested in barn upgrades, including a high-tech helper, making sure cows always have fresh food.
Here's our new robot feed pusher. You have to grow and keep up with new technology because it just makes things so much easier with everything we usually do. You can handle more cows and bigger equipment, everything goes faster. So years ago we'd chop hay all summer, and now we got like a 3-day window. We can put in 800 acres of hay, and so that's nice. Gives you a little more time to do other stuff.
Our farm is sustainable because of progress. You know, the progress that you have to take with everything, you know, especially like with feed pushers, with cow management systems, with any type of GPS in your tractor. All of it is sustainability, because if you work less, you get more, it's more efficient. You're trying to be efficient at all times. And that's the bottom line. You know, I mean, sure, everybody's working for the better of the cows, because the cows are the princesses around here. You know, they're the winners. Yeah, they definitely have a good life.
The Gilberts are also proud to be stewards of the land in Door County for tourists, neighbors, and their own family.
And we live here. You know, we want it to be the best for us also. So we want it to be sustainable for our children, our grandchildren.
They enjoy telling people about how their farm family helps feed people around the world.
We just would love to share, you know, what it takes to handle a farm. I mean, you're handling animals, you're handling everything, you're handling money, you're handling management of sustainable cropland, you're handling working with all sorts of, you know, agencies to help you do the best that you can. So I think that just showing people what you do and what it takes to run a farm is really nice.
And 99% of Wisconsin dairy farms are family-owned, just like this one. And if the story sparks some questions for you, it is the perfect reason to attend a June Dairy Month event. You can visit wisconsindairy.org/June-Dairy-Month to find a full listing of activities. Goats have returned to the Thousand Islands Environmental Center in Kaukauna. They team up with Mulberry Lane Farms to bring in anywhere from 15 to 30 goats at the center to eat invasive plants like buckthorn. They are out eating from 8 until 5:30 daily to make room for more native plants.
The goats are a natural way to remove the buckthorn, and actually they stress out the plants by eating all the leaves, thereby stopping the photosynthesis, and then we can go in and pull the weakened plants that are left over very easily.
And they're also looking for volunteers to supervise the goats, if you think that sounds like fun. The Butterfly Gardens of Wisconsin are a way to educate people about the impact butterflies have on an ecosystem. Local 5's Samantha Petters introduces us to the people behind the garden and their commitment to nature.
Butterflies play a crucial role in the environment, which is why the Butterfly Gardens of Wisconsin here in Appleton focus on preserving these essential pollinators.
It helps us as human beings to be sustainable in a way. And so they provide us that benefit of pollinating various plants, and the benefit is the food we eat.
Whether it's strawberries, apples, coffee, or chocolate, it takes one of these little creatures to pollinate it. So the emphasis is put on safeguarding them and future generations.
We try to make everyone realize the importance of birds, bees, butterflies, and bats. And 30% of the food you eat is created by those creatures.
Jack Voigt has been managing the Butterfly Gardens of Wisconsin with his wife, Marty, for more than a decade. He says he fell in love with butterflies over 60 years ago.
I go back 66 years ago when I got the assignment from my grade school teacher in 8th grade to have a collection of butterflies. I'd like to show you my collection from 66 years ago, and it still exists, by the way. And so it is a reminder that you can start anytime to be involved with butterflies.
Now, together, he and his wife want people of all ages to understand the benefits of butterfly gardens or growing various plants like milkweed and aster.
You cannot predict what kind of butterflies, as well as the quantity of butterflies you may have in your backyard. But number one, if you want to have a butterfly garden, you need to also have host plant and an nectar plant.
Just be mindful of pesticides.
Try to stress the importance and not to use pesticides because so many butterflies are killed by pesticides.
When they first opened the Butterfly Nature Center 13 years ago, the hope was, and still is, to bring attention to monarchs and their purpose. And that's Sustainably Speaking. I'm Samantha Petters, Local 5 News.
And Jack is also currently working with the legislature to make the monarch the state butterfly for Wisconsin. June is, of course, National Dairy Month. It is a time to discover, taste, and support the enduring legacy of Wisconsin dairy. And here to help us showcase the special occasion and to tell the story of the dedicated dairy farmers who make a major impact in their communities is Wisconsin's 77th Allison Dairyland. Haley Heinzel, nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
No, this is a very busy month for you.
It sure is.
What can we discover about Wisconsin's dairies?
Well, here in Wisconsin, no one really does June Dairy Month quite like us, especially when you consider 99% of dairy farms in our state are family owned. It's a great time to celebrate by eating some Wisconsin dairy products and also heading to some June Dairy Month breakfasts.
You have a couple of great recipe ideas too if we're looking to add even more dairy to our repertoire.
I sure do, and these are really fun fruit forward recipes that I've got this month. So over here I've got a Mexican style watermelon salad. It has a little dressing on there that has Wisconsin sour cream in it, some jalapeno for a little bit of spice as well. And it's also topped with queso fresca and cotija cheeses from Wisconsin. And then over on the other side, I've got some sweet and savory caprese stacks. So your classic caprese with the tomato, basil, and mozzarella, of course. But I've also got some capricola that has maple syrup drizzled on it, and a slice of a white peach.
That's a fun twist on a traditional recipe.
Absolutely.
I know the website is packed full of additional recipes. Where can we go to get these and so many more?
If you want to head to wisconsincheese.com/June Dairy Month, there's tons of wonderful recipes on there. But just wisconsincheese.com has thousands of recipes using Wisconsin dairy products.
Talk a little bit about supporting not only during June but beyond. How do we do that?
Absolutely. Every time I'm in the grocery store, I'm always looking for the Proudly Wisconsin Cheese or Proudly Wisconsin Dairy badge. You can find that in 99% of grocery stores across the U.S. Or you can look for the number 55 on your fluid milk packaging or on your butter products to ensure you're purchasing dairy products from Wisconsin.
Talk a bit about the impact dairy makes. I mean, my family lives and breathes it on our farm, but there's a lot of jobs that are impacted by this industry.
Absolutely. It's a $52.8 billion industry here in our state, which makes up almost half of our agricultural economic impact in Wisconsin. It's also producing a lot of jobs for Wisconsinites. 1 in 10 people are working in agriculture in Wisconsin. So there's lots of jobs available. And it's not just those jobs right on our dairy farms, although those are wonderful. I love production agriculture. But people like graphic designers, scientists, engineers can all find homes in Wisconsin's agriculture industry.
And when we talk about fueling our kids and ourselves up, dairy really packs a punch.
Absolutely. With 13 essential nutrients, things like drinking a glass of milk every single day helps keep us strong. Of course, I love dairy in the form of cheese or ice cream or sour cream. There's so many ways to enjoy Wisconsin dairy products.
And Haley, throughout the month, we still have a lot of June left. There's a lot of activities for people to participate in.
Yes, especially breakfasts on the farm. Those are some of my favorite events I've been visiting. I've gotten to a ton already, and I have a ton coming up. You can head again to wisconsincheese.com/June Dairy Month. They have a whole list of dairy breakfasts that you can find near you. If you want to know where I'm going to be, you can go to AllisonDairyland.com. My latest blog post has every single listing I'll be at this month.
Well, we appreciate the fresh ideas for June Dairy Month. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Ryan Kuj. Here's a look at those weather headlines. So rain chances early this week as waves of low pressure move through, but there's a lot of uncertainty with the coverage and timing as well. And we're looking at warmer than average temperatures in the short term as well. So I'm going with the European model. I think it's been handling things a little bit better recently here in Wisconsin, but check up with your local stations for really more hyper local forecasts for the next few days. But I do have a little wave of low pressure moving through on Monday over Wisconsin. Another one back building right behind it over the plains for Monday night, going into Tuesday, arriving here in Wisconsin Tuesday late in the day, going into Wednesday. We should start to dry out later Wednesday, going into Thursday, at least what the European model is saying. The GFS actually brings in another wave of low pressure from the south here to Wisconsin on Thursday. So like I mentioned, a little bit of uncertainty, but I do have a pretty good amount of confidence that some beneficial moisture is headed our way, about 1 inch to 2 inches plus over the Midwest over the next 10 days, and we absolutely need it. These are our departures since January 1st, and pretty substantial numbers, a lot of negatives. 6 inches below average in Chicago, 4 inches below average in Omaha, 4.5 inches below average in Sioux Falls. And this is our departure of just since the June 1st. So we're about, say 2 weeks in, and still some departures as well. Des Moines, 1.5 inches, Sioux Falls, 1/2 inch. So we're in moderate to severe drought conditions out that way, so this is definitely beneficial moisture headed our way. Temperature-wise, in the 70s and 80s on Sunday. We actually could build into the 90s in Omaha on Monday, and likely this time of year when we get warm, guess what? It gets a little muggy as well. Dew points in the 50s, 60s, even cresting into the 70s in a few locations. That's absolutely tropical-like weather out there with those dew points moving into the 70s. So keep that in mind if you're doing any outdoor work there. But temperature-wise, over the next 8 to 14 days, warmer than average temperatures, and we should see our precipitation be slightly above normal to at normal here over the Midwest.
I just need it dry on Sunday. We're building the bale maze at Kewaunee County Breakfast on the Farm.
I think we're looking pretty good here in Wisconsin on Sunday.
Don't want to ruin the feed.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Ryan, for the forecast. We hope you have a great weekend.